My friends, over the last couple of years, I've begun to notice a trend taking place within the outdoor space, and in this episode, I want to discuss this with you all. Recently on YouTube, I put up a poll, and I asked this question: how much are you comfortable with spending on a 3-season tent? There was almost 5,000 entries in this poll. 11% said $100 or less, 31% said $200 or less, 38% said $300 or less, 10% said $400 or less, and 11% said $500 or less. The results of this poll did not surprise me in the least, and that's because I keep track of basically what my viewers are asking about, anytime that I receive a message or an email. With this in mind, when it comes to a big expenditure product such as a 3-season tent, I've seen that there are two main groups: people who are looking to spend under $300 and those who are looking to spend under $200. It is these two groups that make up the majority of budgets when people are looking to locate the right tent for themselves. Why do I bring up this poll? Well, I will get to that in just a second. Let's go back in time roughly 10 years ago when I started my YouTube channel. Back then, anytime I received an email or a message concerning backpacking products, most of those questions dealt with companies that are based in the United States. We're talking about Big Agnes, North Face, Marmot, Nemo, Mountain Hardwear, MSR, and so on. Fast forward to today, and virtually no one is asking about these companies or their products, and that's the troubling trend that is the topic of this episode. 2 to 3 years ago, Susie and I began to notice this shift when it comes to the messages and emails that you all send us. When you all are writing in asking about tents, backpacks, sleeping bags, and so on, we've noticed that there's a big shift when it comes to like American companies and companies outside of the United States. Susie and I have had many conversations about this topic, and the question that we both posed was, how long is it going to take until there's an impact, like a visible impact on the outdoor community, where we can say, hey, this is actually an issue? Unfortunately, everybody, we are at that point now where we're beginning to see that American companies are beginning to suffer and they're beginning to shut down. Recently, it came to our attention that the American company Eureka is being shut down after 128 years in the outdoor space. This company is done. Recently, I put up an episode discussing what was taking place with Eureka. I highly recommend that you take a look at it. Watch that episode and hear the points that I bring up. The same issues and hurdles that we're facing Eureka are the same issues and hurdles that other outdoor companies are facing as well. The simple fact is this: with many of the outdoor companies that are based in the United States, they are losing their relevance within the outdoor space. And I believe this is due to two main reasons. One is the fact that these companies have gone silent. They've begun going underneath the radar. They're not getting their names out there. They're not showing off their products. They're not in contact with like YouTube channels like myself or other reviewers. The simple fact is, many of these companies, they've just simply gone quiet. At the same time, you have companies from outside the United States who are being very aggressive when it comes to social media, when it comes to YouTube, when it comes to reviewers. They're getting their products out there. And more than anything, their names are becoming known within the outdoor space. Whereas American companies, their names are being forgotten. The second big issue that I see here is price, plain and simple. The prices of gear from these American companies, for the most part, has gone so sky high, it's unaffordable for just about everybody, but a very selective few. Basically, what is happening here is that these companies are pricing themselves out of the outdoor market, and it shows. Take Eureka for an example. Both factors play into what has taken place with Eureka and why it has shut down. Go back to the poll that I spoke about in the beginning of this episode. Think about the segments that I spoke of, the percentages of what people were willing to spend and not spend. With that in mind, let's focus on a few American companies and what they offer. Let's start with Big Agnes for an example. Did you know that Big Agnes doesn't have a single tent that is under $250? In fact, the majority of their tents sell for much more than that, where $300, $400, $500, and even $600 is common. Since we're talking about Big Agnes, let's talk about their online presence, at least here on YouTube. This morning, I sat down on the computer, I did a search for Big Agnes on YouTube, and I searched it by date, meaning that it would show all of the videos starting at the most recent going outward in time. Over the last 4 months on YouTube, I counted 14 videos. That's it, only 14. I then punched in another American company, Mountain Hardwear. And get this, over the last 4 months, only 8 videos have been posted concerning their products. Give or take, everybody, the results are virtually the same for other American outdoor companies as well. Again, they're going under the radar. They're being overshadowed by other companies. People aren't reviewing their gear. No one's posting videos about them. And in my opinion, this is troubling, folks. Now, I should mention this, everybody. These results by searching on YouTube, this is not scientific by any means, but it is a good indicator of what's taking place concerning these companies as far as public opinion goes, as far as brand awareness goes and their products being reviewed and shown off. In other words, everybody, this does a good job of painting a picture for you all concerning what I find so troubling that's taking place in the outdoor space right now. I don't want to make it sound like I'm picking on Big Agnes, so let's talk about another American company such as Nemo. I went on their site this morning and I didn't see a single tent that could be purchased for under $300. $300, folks, not a single tent. Go back to that poll that I put up. Think about what people are willing to spend and not willing to spend. I do need to say this in regards to searching for tent prices on Big Agnes's website and also Nemo's. Because we're so close to Black Friday, there's a ton of sales going on. You can find prices for products that are all over the place. I say this because if you go on one of these websites, you do some searching right now at the time of filming this video, because of the sales are taking place, you don't really get a good idea, a good picture of what these products normally sell for. Concerning the search results on YouTube and the lack of presence from these companies, and also the lack of interest in these companies, it's important to realize while these companies are going quiet, there are other companies out there who are going very loud and also being very aggressive in regards to their social media content and the way that they're reaching out to potential consumers. They're having their products reviewed. They're getting their name out there. They're working to get their products in videos and so on. So while you have these US companies going silent, you have these other companies from outside of the US getting louder and more aggressive. And what this translates to is a loss of market share for American companies. And ultimately, we're talking about lost revenue, lost profits, jobs being cut, and so on. And unfortunately, businesses being shut down. Take Eureka for an example. The parent company of Eureka, which is Johnson Outdoors, stated that in 2024, once everything is fully shut down, the closing of Eureka is going to have less than 1% negative impact upon their total company. Less than 1%. That's how little money Eureka was making in 2023 going into 2024. When it comes to these American companies going silent in YouTube, when you look at the search results for these American companies, you might have one video a week, maybe it's one video a month coming out, but when you take a look at the companies outside of the United States, we're talking about hundreds of videos per week, thousands of videos per month. These companies will have more videos in 1 week than many of these companies will have in 5 months. That's a lot of exposure, and that's a lot of difference that translates into sales and profits. As I mentioned, recently I put up the video concerning Eureka and its rise and fall. And in that episode, I spoke of the trends that I had begun seeing over the last 2 or 3 years. And I also spoke of a plan that I'm going to put into action as I want to do something to help the outdoor space before it's too late. I do not want to see these American outdoor brands disappear, and I do not want to see the loss of American jobs. So this is my plan. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to begin reaching out to American businesses, American outdoor companies, and I'm going to begin having a dialogue with them concerning the trends that I see in the outdoor space. I'm going to discuss with them how I see their names, their products being mentioned less and less and less, and hopefully as a community we can do something about this before it's too late. I am more than happy to honestly review these products from these companies, but the simple fact is this, everybody, I have to purchase 99% of everything that I review here on the channel. And when it comes to the most interesting products from these American companies, the prices of this stuff is so high, it's so expensive. It just doesn't make a whole lot of sense for me to purchase it, especially if you all are not interested in it. With many of these companies, the prices of all of their tents are above this range. This presents some problems, especially when it comes to my channel here, because I'm having to purchase these items. So if you all are not interested in those products, if they're too expensive, it just doesn't make any sense, right? I would be absolutely happy to help these companies out and do honest reviews of their products. But that's the key. It will be honest. I'm not going to hold back any punches. I'm going to say it just the way it is. If there's a problem, I'll show you. If there's something I don't like, I'll explain it. If the tent excels or whatever the product is, if it does good, I'll show you why. I'll tell you why. Those are the stipulations that I have when it comes to reviewing a product. It doesn't matter if I purchase the product or if it's sent to me. Unfortunately, this philosophy is not popular amongst outdoor companies in the outdoor space. And that's because many of these companies are afraid of real reviews, of honest reviews. Just a little bit of negativity can destroy their brand, destroy their profits. You may know this, you may not, but what's becoming very common these days within the outdoor space is for outdoor companies to go into business with YouTubers. What they want to do is basically purchase a YouTuber's opinion so that they will give a favorable review of their products. This is another disturbing trend that I've noticed coming into play over the last, I would say, 2 years or so. It is very, very common. Hey, we are so-and-so from this company, and we want you to be part of the affiliate program where you can review our products and also sell them. As you all know, there are many YouTube channels who are more than happy to get on board with this. They will pass on reviews to you all. In truth, all they're doing is just selling you a product. Something that I hear all the time is this. I receive an email or a message from a viewer. They say that so-and-so YouTube channel reviewed so-and-so product, right? They then go on to ask me to review that product because the other YouTube channel cannot be trusted. Now, folks, I'm not bragging. I'm not trying to brag about the channel or anything like that. I'm trying to make the point, and the point is this. Honesty is key. Honesty is important. So you have these other channels just selling products. They would sell you asbestos. They don't care. I refuse refuse to have anything to do with this, everybody. My channel has been built upon the agenda-free approach. I'm not here to sell products. I'm not here to tell you what these companies say. I'm here to test out these products and share information, and that's it. I test out products, I share the good, the bad, I give you information, and you can decide what you want to do. That is all that my channel does. Anyways, folks, let's get back on point here. My ultimate goal is to contact these companies and have a dialogue with them, sharing with them what I've been seeing taking place, what I see unfolding, and maybe, just maybe, some good will come from it. I'm not going to tell them to lower their prices because I know it's not that simple. The American economy over the last 4 years has taken an absolute beating. You have a shortage of workers, sky-high inflation, businesses are being burdened by regulation, and to put it simply, everybody, for any company based in the United States right now, it is a very difficult time. I'm not going to tell these companies to lower their prices, but they do need to do a better job of explaining why their prices are so high. What makes their tints worth this price? What makes them different? They need to show why and explain why their products are better than those coming in from overseas. Ultimately, am I going to be able to do any good? I don't actually know. I hope so, but you never know. The good thing is that the Outdoor Gear Review has a stellar reputation in the outdoor space. All of these companies know of who I am. They know what I stand for. So hopefully it will do some good. We shall see. Talking about Eureka with them being shut down recently, it really does go to show just how fragile of a state that many of these outdoor companies are in right now. Most of these outdoor companies make a very small profit on what they sell. You would think it would be much higher, but that's simply not the case. Their profits are razor thin. A good example of that is Eureka and what Johnson Outdoors stated. A less than 1% negative impact upon their financials. That's how little of a market share Eureka had. That is how little money Eureka was making. To wrap this up, folks, without a doubt, this is the biggest trend within the outdoor space that I've seen developing over the last couple of years. Susie and I have discussed this over and over and over, and now we see the very first casualty, Eureka. The question is, who's next? It might be next week, next month, a year from now, but there's going to be more casualties. There's going to be more casualties unless these companies do something about it. Hopefully, in the end, I could do some good by contacting these companies and starting a dialogue with them. Wish me luck, folks. I will definitely need it. I do need to say this, folks. In the end, I work for you all, not for them. My channel continues to be agenda-free as it always will be. There's a reason why the Outdoor Gear Review is the most trusted outdoor source of information and reviews. And it's because I cannot be bought, I cannot be purchased, my thoughts are my own. I review a product, I don't hold back, I point out the good, I point out the bad, and that's that. Make sure to comment down below, share your thoughts. What do you all think about this trend that I've been seeing developing over the last couple of years? Have you noticed this as well? Do you feel that these outdoor American companies are in danger? Do you feel like they're in trouble? And lastly, do you think I'm going to be able to do any good by starting a dialogue with them? This topic has certainly been on my mind for a while now, and I wanted to discuss it with you all to get your feedback. So make sure to comment down below. Everybody, take care, be well, strength and honor. Bye for now.